Yes, sir. My tricker. Back up in this thing, man. Today, I'll be reacting to some creepy videos that defy logic. Let's get it.
Global computer systems in healthcare, banking and airlines are slowly coming back online after a digital outage disrupted networks in many countries. The crisis was caused by a faulty software update which affected Microsoft Windows systems. But it could be some time before all the backlogs are cleared. While some airline devices are beginning to return to normal after thousands of flights were cancelled, operators expect some delays and cancellations to persist through the weekend. Many businesses are now dealing with backlogs and missed orders that could take days to resolve. The global chaos has sparked concern over the vulnerability of the world's interconnected technologies and the extent to which a single software glitch could have such widespread impact. And the UK's National Cybersecurity Centre is warning that scammers could attempt to take advantage of the widespread computer problems.
We might want to dial back our reliance on technology a bit, because if a simple content update can cause this much global chaos, I can't imagine how it would be during a major cyber attack. And they want to switch us to digital currencies. We would really be cooked if that was the case. I feel like this was a Bill Gates test run.
There's a Freemason lodge on the moon? That's right. Buzz Aldrin, the second man to step foot on the moon, established Tranquility Lodge number 2000. This is factual information, TikTok moderators. Do not take my TikTok down. I'm learning this on the same day that they come out with the news that there's caves on the moon that astronauts could use as bases. I mean, tell me the Freemasons aren't going to be up there acting weird in caves. The thing that interests me the most is the fact that NASA allowed Buzz Aldrin to bring this flag on the rocket ship. Rocket fuel is very expensive, and every ounce has to be accounted for. So the fact that the federal government allowed Buzz Aldrin to go up with that flag tells me something.
So you telling me in the 60s we traveled 239,000 miles to get to the moon, and all we have to show for it is a couple of rocks and a Freemason lodge? If there are any aliens out there, they probably still laughing at that one.
Did you hear that? Please tell me. Please tell me.
It kind of sounds like either the War of the Worlds tripods were about to bust out the ground, or somebody just cold started a Hellcat.
The exercises here are being facilitated by the Michigan National Guard working in conjunction with the Missouri National Guard. The drill scenario here involves an 8.4 magnitude earthquake from the New Madrid seismic fault hitting the St. Louis area. The training is going to focus on a simulated response to structural damage, civilian casualties, and chemical contamination in the vicinity of Busch Stadium during a baseball game.
I don't know if they know about a coming event that we don't know about, but training for an 8.4 magnitude earthquake in particular seems very specific. And I'm not a seismologist, but if there was an 8.4 magnitude earthquake, I don't think there would be any roads to drive on. So this training seems kind of frivolous.
NASA has found this perfectly cut trillion-ton rectangular iceberg 3 times the size of Manhattan near the east coast of the Antarctic peninsula. People are saying it's like a glitch in the Matrix. Although it does kind of look like it holds the secret to Atlantis, it's supposedly a completely natural phenomenon called a tabular iceberg and not man-made. Senior support scientist Jeremy Harbeck actually found the iceberg back in 2018, but the internet is just finding out about it now. The largest tabular iceberg in recorded history measures around 4,200 square miles, meaning that if it were a country, it would be the 166th largest in the world.
I remember seeing this a few years back, and what still confuses me is that you usually don't see 90-degree angles formed in nature except when you're dealing with certain crystals. But if NASA said it, then surely it must be true, right?
You know what I love about you trolls and you shills? Is the truth will always come to the surface. Right, here's the plane. And now everyone keeps saying, oh, it's not, it's from the DEA. What's that say there? Eh? King Airs. Right. What's that say there? Sells King's Airs for what? Saudi cloud what? Seeding program. So I ain't making this up, guys. And here we go. We got a new pattern. And this one's going up north this time and doing it again. So come on, guys. Am I making this up? Am I really? I'm going to show you something that interested me, actually. Hold that thought. Check this out. This is the pattern from the other day. Don't you think that's been cut? Look at it. That's not that. We've seen way more than that. in the first one. Going all the way up here, yeah? Just so you can see where it's landing. Alright, it's landing there. Yeah? If we can zoom in, we can. So, that is where it's landing. Okay, guys? Like a flying skull. And it does a little turn, comes all the way down. Yeah? Look, you don't even know what it's doing here. What's all this about? Oh, maybe there was some traffic and it had to be moved out of the way. Understandable, but what I'm trying to get at is this. Yeah? Look at it. There's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lines. Go cherish that one up, boys.
If the plane took off from a flying school, then it's possible that this is just a training flight, but it's probably training to do cloud seeding looking at that flight pattern, especially since that's what the airline was purchased for.
So apparently Biscuit Basin exploded in Yellowstone National Park today in Montana.
She ran to the other side. Holy.
If they went to Yellowstone to see the geysers, then they definitely got their money's worth with this one. That looked like a reenactment of Pompeii for a second.
I am convinced that NASA has replaced our sun with their patented sun simulator. Now, I know this sounds wild, but stick with me because I have the evidence to back this up. Now, first of all, you can look up the US patent for the solar simulator on Google. Now, this document goes deep on exactly how the simulator works and essentially is placed in front of the sun. Alright, now let me show you a video that I took the other day of the sun, and I want you to notice this reflection right here. Now here's a close-up of what that reflection looks like. It looks pretty familiar, doesn't it? This honeycomb shape. Now obviously this isn't coming from my phone camera, so how is this reflecting off the sun? Now here is what the sun looked like in 2018, and I'm not the only one who remembers the sun being this bright orange color and now it's this white LED light. Here's a reflection up here. Certainly not the same reflection that I took with my phone. Perhaps this is why around the world people have been reporting their sunflowers shunning the sunlight. Now this is what the sun used to look like and how I remember it growing up, this bright orange light, and now it's this bright white LED light that's hard to look at and hard to be under. Now this video is not to report any fear. Once a critical mass is reached and enough people know what's been going on underneath our noses, we will be able to take down these parasites.
The past couple summers, the sun has felt hotter than normal, but he's reaching with this one because NASA can barely take a good picture of the Earth, so I doubt they have the capabilities to replace the entire sun.
The footage of Bohemian Grove has finally came out, and to be honest with you, it's cringe at first, and then it gets really creepy. In the beginning, of course, you have your introduction.
Oh, Bohemian, we are. The spirit of the grove has graciously given us this.
And then the men in robes come holding torches, and behind them are soldiers with bow and arrows and swords. And then they line up in front of the crowd. The men in robes are first, behind them the soldiers, and behind that is the altar and the owl. They start to recite a lot of weird things. There's a 30-minute long video on YouTube, you can just go watch it. But this is when it starts to get creepy. The men in robes leave and then they come back, but they bring something with them. They start to get ready for the cremation of care ritual. Now, I don't know what these 4 men are holding, but man, does that look suspicious.
It's one of my, no way, they're sacrificing. They might be sacrificing one of the people they caught. Sneaking into the...
Now, during the cremation of care ritual, they are delivered in effigy by boat. It's a lifelike statue that they put on the altar and burn. The boat makes it to the altar, but unfortunately, we're unable to see the ritual take place.
Hopefully that body bag is just symbolic, but it looks like the same person who planned this ritual is also Taylor Swift's tour choreographer.
Pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack. To use the COVID-19 crisis as a timely opportunity to reflect on the lessons the cybersecurity community can draw and improve our preparedness for a potential cyber pandemic.
This feels more like predictive programming than a warning after this Microsoft outage. I feel like Klaus Schwab was elated when the systems went down.
Do look dangerous. Back up, man. Let's go. My guy. What the hell is that? That's rain. That's steam. Oh. I thought there was one that was they testing the hawk machine over there, my guy.
So whenever cloud seeding isn't enough, they just resort to making entire clouds now. But hopefully they were able to get out in time, because I would not want to be breathing in whatever those suspicious white particles were. That looks like smart dust.
Apple has opted everyone in the world into their location data tracking network, even if you don't have any Apple devices. Even if an Apple device has never connected to your network, all it takes is one Apple device seeing your Wi-Fi, and now your Wi-Fi is part of their data collection. Researchers believe that Apple's APIs can very easily be used to track individuals' movements, and they've already been able to demonstrate the ability to track troop and refugee movement in Ukraine. If you would like your Wi-Fi to not be tracked by Apple like this, you need to regularly change your SSID when you do things like use your phone's hotspot mode, and for your home Wi-Fi you can add the text _nomap to the end of your SSID. So of course it's on users to even know this is an issue, and we have to take steps to change our network settings to fix it. That's pretty lame, Apple. It's pretty lame.
I'm not sure how this is even allowed in the first place, but especially without our permission, if they're gonna be using my Wi-Fi, they better send me a check for that bill. If this ever happened to me, I don't care what time it is. I'm driving it to the nearest Goodwill drop box.
The co-founder of Starbucks actually put in one of his books in 1997 that they purposely picked a siren as the logo of Starbucks because they wanted something to be as seductive as coffee. In other words, they wanted something that was going to lure people into buying their coffee. You can pause the read. Have you ever thought about those people that drink Starbucks, y'all? They don't just drink Starbucks. They are obsessed with Starbucks. They act like they cannot live without their Starbucks. They act like there is no other good coffee on earth other than Starbucks. If y'all think these people doing chants and spells over their coffee, baby, you are deceived. The owners knew what they was doing with this one. And as I was doing some research, another website had pointed out to me what this looks like upside down. But what do it look like to y'all? It's giving Baphomet.
Now we know exactly why the drive-through line always seems to be wrapped around the block. Pumpkin spice lattes don't taste that good.
All right, I need y'all help. Somebody please tell me what the it is you're about to see in this video. I caught some rainwater for the new moon on the 5th, and I was going to bathe in, and just to make sure like some particles from the root and little bugs or whatever wasn't in the water, I went ahead and strained it, right? But then like, what the is this? I set this in here for maybe about an hour, and what? No. What? It's like the density of the water is changing, like they're trying to be more solid now or something like that. It's weird as and I've been Googling my so trying to figure out what the it is, and all I came up with is like some jelly star or star yo, just help. Like, let's figure it out together.
With all the weather modification, I would not be bathing in rainwater these days. It looks like thick water.
In the past week, both Bob Newhart and Richard Simmons, I swear to God, I remember both of these guys passed away years ago. I swear to God, that's what I remember. Now it's reported that Richard Simmons passed away on the 13th. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I just think he years ago. But Bob Newhart? Nope. I remember when he passed away. Because he had a reoccurring part on the TV show The Big Bang Theory, where Bob Newhart, right there, played Sheldon's childhood hero, Professor Proton. And in my memory, after Bob Newhart, They even made an episode where Professor Proton passed away. And that was at least 3 or 4 years ago. But now it says Bob Newhart just passed away? What? What? Now, could I be wrong? Could I just be having some kind of false memory? Sure, because I'm wrong all the time. But I gotta tell you, I remember when both of these guys passed away a few years ago. And like I said, I vividly remember when Bob Newhart passed away, and it wasn't this week.
I don't know about Bob Newhart, but I'm pretty sure I remember when Richard Simmons did a while ago, and he definitely wore a headband too. CERN is changing timelines again. Let me know what you guys remember though.
What is that? Alter. Junge. Hätte ich null erwartet. Oh no. Brauchen wir?
I don't know what these tunnels could possibly be used for, but the absolute last thing I'm doing if I discover a random hatch in a forest is venturing inside.
Hollywood loves revealing the truth in plain sight, and that's exactly what we see in this segment. During the middle of Chris's show, Will Ferrell and Chris perform a full-on satanic ritual. The segment starts with Chris stating that they have a ritual of the minds and states that Will Ferrell will be the shaman for this ritual. Ferrell then warns the crowd that the ritual isn't for the faint of heart.
We have this ritual of the minds. What I've been told is this will break me down.
It's not for the faint of heart.
You're gonna be my shaman and walk me through this.
You're a shaman if you've got the guts to go there.
Remove the subject's clothes.
Yeah.
Let us upon his baby skin, which can be accurately summed up as not yet a man, but not still a boy. Now the subject shall bathe the blood of a gifted turtle. This will make your show irresistible to viewers. Your show irresistible to viewers. It will be like one of those live NBC musicals that makes everyone lose their heads. True rate, the host must accept he's also one with Earth, a dirt person. It's not much of a metaphor here. It's a pretty clear cut. Make him a dirt person. Repeat after me. You are nothing. Increase the numbers. Increase the numbers. This is not art. Increase the numbers. Increase the numbers. This is not art. Increase the numbers. Increase the numbers. Step up to this mirror. Don't hold back. You love that emo. Why must I love you? Look into the mirror.
I love you. I love you, Emu.
I know that was just a comedy sketch, but that went a little too far. Will Ferrell looked quite comfortable in that role too, almost as if he was pulling from prior experience.
Check it out, you guys. We just found a prehistoric giant tree stump. What do you guys think? You can see the cells. There's a root right there. You got a couple other trees next to it. That hill right there is a root leading up from it. This is a giant prehistoric tree stump. What do you guys think?
I know it's just a plateau, but it does look exactly like a giant tree stump. And if it was at one point, then something very large had to cut it down. I don't even think Paul Bunyan can handle that.
The Canadian government is once again loudly announcing just how out of touch it is with the world of agriculture, as they are looking to end a policy called farmers' privilege, which allows farmers to save their seeds. So in a lot of places around the world, like the United States and the European Union, there are extremely restrictive laws around the patenting of seeds. And major agronomics companies fiercely protect their genetics. Like, there are many examples of people facing legal consequences for sharing seeds, saving seeds, and more. Now, in Canada, we have something called farmers' privilege, where farmers are allowed to save and use their own seed. Now the government is looking at potentially getting rid of that. Now, there are some subtleties here, but it focuses primarily on hybrid seeds. And the reason why is very simple. Quote, these companies want to have access to plant breeding because it's very lucrative. People need food. They have no choice. And so if you can make food more expensive and corner the market on something like seed, you will. So the Canadian government is looking at amendments to the current rules. So they want to force farmers to pay seed companies royalties for decades after the original purchases of seeds from protected varieties of plants. So if you buy the plant and you keep growing the plant, you could be paying the royalties over 20 years. So if you buy one set of seed and keep reusing those seeds, you keep paying the royalties, even though you only bought the seeds once. So this would specifically apply to horticultural crops like vegetables, fruit trees, and ornamental plants.
I knew that there were restrictions on seeds, but I had no idea that they collect royalties from the crops too. The agriculture industry must have learned that tactic from the major record labels.
Why does the Apple Intelligence logo look like this satanic symbol? I mean, we all know how weird it is that the Apple symbol is an apple with a bite out of it. I mean, we all know this story. Later added the bite because they said it looks too much like a cherry. Apple claims their logo is inspired by Isaac Newton's Apple story. What if I told you Isaac Newton's an occultist that said the world's going to end in 2060? They just came out with their new artificial intelligence feature with a logo that looks like the logo that was designed by this guy. Yep, the guy that calls himself the Beast 666 designed the Apple Intelligence logo. This logo is called the Seal of Babylon. It represents a goddess who's supposed to ride in on a beast and bring about the Aeon of Horus. This guy prophesied that the Aeon of Horus will be a great falling away from Christianity.
Taking all of that into account, plus the price of the original iMac, I'm starting to believe that Steve Jobs was the Aleister Crowley of Silicon Valley.
No mention of humans, but this video is about to get really weird. Before we get to the weirdness at the end here, let's just go over how this is not new at all. Not only do we have the patent in 1980, we have a patent made here in 1912, and they got that from the ancient Romans. But as you all can clearly see, it was used to make a lighter concrete. No way involved in the ancient practice of foundation sacrifice. Also, weird little note, they used to mix beer up in the concrete. Maybe I should go back to doing that. Now for the weirdest I have ever heard in my life. The self-healing concrete. American researchers have found a way to use an enzyme extracted from cells to make a self-healing concrete that is 4 times more durable than the traditional formula. Dude, hold on. Only 5 years of research, and you can heal a millimeter scale crack within 24 hours.
I know we've incorporated a lot of ancient Roman elements into modern society, but you can use concrete to heal concrete. They could have left this formula back in 100 BC with Julius Caesar.
Let's stop here, because it's my understanding that your team did this for you and you didn't really know what they were doing. What did you think was happening?
I didn't know anything about it, but when they asked me to do an impression for the hands, I did the impression. And I didn't even question. I just left it alone.
What does this mean? I know it means Rockefeller and diamonds. Where did you get that idea from to do that?
When we first started, we had a group called Christian. When you sell 10 million, you go diamond.
Okay.
Right? We believed in them so heavy. It was like, this group is going to sell 10 million records. So we started putting the diamond up for Christian. That's how it all came about. And then we started playing with it. And then we started doing it at shows. Then the whole crowd started doing it.
No way, shape, or form does this triangle look like a diamond. You could tell he just came up with that story on the spot.
The famous dystopian future books like 1984, a lot of them predicted that the government would force things into your house, like a television, that there would be loudspeakers installed so that you would have to hear the ramblings of the fascists that run the place, that this media would be given to you and you would be forced to consume it, and that would be your only media. But the disturbing part is they actually made us buy it. They tricked us into buying TVs that would show us ads and propaganda that we didn't want to see. So 24/7 they can be pumping this consumerism into us. They tricked us into buying smart thermostats that they said would make our lives easier because we could control them remotely. But the truth is they wanted to control them remotely. They made us buy something that took away the control to our own environment. They don't have to have a huge tracking system. Our phones do it for them. Not to mention we gave them our fingerprints, our facial scans and biometrics, iris scans, and they didn't even need a warrant for any of this. We just gave it to them. But we had to buy the method of our own oppression. They tricked us into paying for DNA testing. And they don't have to control what we talk about. They just read our conversations and our emails. And don't think that your phone isn't picking up on keywords too. And who knows who's listening when it does hear certain keywords. And now in the next part of the dystopian nightmare where they make us buy the tools of our own oppression, in the EU they just passed the GSR 2024. Now you have to have cameras installed inside your car that scan your face. They say it's to help with driver distractedness and drowsiness, but let's be honest, there's no information of ours that they collect that they aren't using for nefarious purposes in some way or another, or selling it.
In the book 1984, the party had to force this upon people. Nowadays, we accept it with open arms. George Orwell would be turning in his grave.
I'll explain it again. It's a piece of fabric. I put it up on the wall. I put it on the mirror. I put it outside, and I see spirits. One more time. It's a piece of fabric. I put it on the wall. I put it outside. And I see spirits. You know what I'm saying? You get it now? Good.
If this is legit, then it's pretty cool that she has this ability, but she might want to get a new sheet because that spirit looked like Jimmy Savile.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's okay. Hi. I'm just saying hi. Oh my god. It's okay. It's okay. It's alright. It's okay.
Those orcas are beautiful creatures, but I would be freaking out just as much as she was in fear that they were coming for retribution for Tilikum and Shamu.
It might come back.
There's probably somebody a mile away at the bottom of the mountain filming this, thinking they just captured the best evidence of a UFO ever, but hopefully they kept the sleeping bag because they're not getting that tent back. But that was the video, guys. Don't forget to sub up, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you in the next one.